Today we're going to tear apart an ancient prayer, Psalm 6, and really see what makes it tick. It's this incredibly raw text that shows a journey from the absolute bottom to this sudden, defiant explosion of hope. So let's get into it. And really, that's the question at the heart of this whole thing, isn't it? This psalm is basically a script for anyone who has ever felt completely buried by life. And it follows this surprisingly clear path from pure pain to some kind of deliverance. So, where does this all start? Well, like a lot of these stories, it starts in a really dark place. The person praying feels totally cornered, beaten down, and it feels like they're under attack from a force way bigger than them. Okay, so what's so interesting about this opening line is that it's not a request for something. It's a desperate plea to make something stop. The speaker is convinced that all this suffering is a direct punishment, and the very first thing they can think to say is just, please, stop, no more. And right after that, the prayer gets really, really physical. I am faint, my bones are in agony. See, this isn't just someone saying they're sad. They feel like their actual body is crumbling, falling apart under the weight of it all. And you have to understand, this connection is absolutely crucial in these ancient laments. The idea is that the internal, emotional pain can become so intense that it literally starts to show up as physical suffering. The soul and the body are experiencing the exact same crisis. And then we get this raw, gut punch of a line. How long? Anyone who's been through something really tough knows that question. It's that feeling when the suffering seems like it's never, ever going to end. This is the absolute heart of the pain, right here. Okay, so after pouring out all that pain, there's a shift. The speaker changes their approach. It's almost like they realize just describing how bad things are isn't enough. They start to build a case for their own survival. This is where it gets strategic. And you can see it right in the words they use. Listen to this. Turn, deliver, save. These are commands. It's no longer just passive suffering. Now they're actively pleading their case and appealing directly to God's character, to that unfailing love. And this is where it gets really fascinating. The speaker lays out a surprisingly logical argument, almost like a business proposal. As you can see here, it's a simple comparison. If I'm alive, I can praise you. If I'm dead, you get silence. They're basically saying, look, I'm way more valuable to you above ground. It's such a pragmatic way to argue for your own life. But, just because you make a good argument doesn't mean the pain magically disappears. Before we get to the big turnaround, the speaker takes one last deep dive into total despair, a place where the grief just completely swallows them whole. I mean, the imagery here is just, wow. Flood my bed, drench my couch. This isn't just a few tears. This is sorrow as a force of nature, like a literal tidal wave that's drowning them, and there is no escape. And this is it. This is rock bottom. They're physically spent from all the crying, their eyes are literally failing them, and they're blaming their foes, whatever or whoever they are. It just doesn't get much lower than this. And then, bam, out of nowhere, with no warning at all, everything flips. The entire tone of the prayer pivots, moving from that absolute despair to a shocking, sudden blast of confidence. The very next thing we hear is this: away from me, all you who do evil. Just feel the power in that. Where's that weak, pleading voice from before? It's gone, replaced by this incredible authority. It's a total 180. So you have to be asking, how in the world did that happen? Well, it looks like the speaker builds up their own confidence with these 3 quick-fire declarations. It's almost like a mantra. Step 1, the Lord has heard my weeping. Okay, so he's heard the sound. Step 2, the Lord has heard my cry for mercy. Now he's heard the words. And finally, step 3, the Lord accepts my prayer. That's the final piece. From just hearing to actively accepting. It's a done deal. And once that confidence is locked in, the whole focus changes. It's not about their own internal pain anymore. Now they're looking outward at those foes they were so afraid of just a moment ago, and they're ready to declare what's going to happen to them. And what happens next is just a complete role reversal. Look at this. All that suffering the speaker was feeling, the shame, the anguish, it's now being thrown right back at their enemies. They are the ones who are going to be overwhelmed and defeated. The tables have completely, suddenly turned. So that leaves us with the big question, right? The central mystery of this whole thing. We saw the before and the after, the agony and the assurance, but what actually happened in between to cause that shift? And that's where this ancient text leaves us hanging. Was this a change of circumstance, or was it a change of mind? Did something external actually change for the speaker in that moment, or, and this is the really powerful idea, did the very act of praying, of voicing all that pain and arguing their case, fundamentally change something inside them? Did they find the strength to believe they were heard long before anything in their world actually got better? The psalm never tells us, and maybe that's the point.